What's up? How you guys doing? It's been a long time. Welcome to another edition of Fly Like an Eagle podcast. I'm here, your host, Kyle Mager, along with Zach Harris and Trevor Harris down there at the bottom with the Barstool logo in the background. A lot of things have been going on, especially recently. You got the NBA, you got the NHL doing different things, you got the MLB doing different things, but we're here to talk about football and football only. Philadelphia Eagles. What's there to talk about Philadelphia Eagles? What have we missed within the last month not being on the show? Zach, I will bring you in first. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, just chilling, living the life, and trying to stay safe in all this craziness between COVID and everything else.
Mm-hmm. It's good to hear. How about you, Trevor?
Gambling's okay. Hockey's okay. Sports is okay. Twitter's a dumpster fire. So what else is new?
Dude, Twitter
Sports is not okay. NBA's not okay.
Hey, I've banned myself from watching the NBA product since before they came back. I have not watched
Without the fans, it's just you don't know what you're getting game to game. It's just ridiculous. It was already bad to begin with, but now it's just off the rails.
Like the people on the screen for the Celtics home opener, if you want to call it that, they're like, "Ooh!" at the foul line. It's so stupid. It's so dumb.
This is why I know a few people who are up in the bubbles in Edmonton. It's a blast. That's all I gotta say. I've having more fun watching the NHL than ever before. Especially with gambling wise. It's been a blast. Hello, Parlay City for me.
Yeah, parlays are fun when you win them, but when you lose them, forget it. It's like
I know. It's like lighting a $20 bill on fire. That's how I roll sometimes.
All right, so let's start off with this one. We need to bench Dillard. All right, so rumor has come out on Twitter, out of all places, which everyone seems to hate on this podcast. Everyone on Twitter is basically saying that Dillard is getting thrown around like a rag doll, that he's going to get Wentz killed, like he almost got Wentz's knees butchered. I think it was this afternoon, and everyone's saying that he's a bust. Well, I called this a long time ago. I don't like Pac-12 linemen because they never really have to do anything since the defenses suck. I don't know if I'm already going to label him a bust, but I don't. Who's his backup? Jason Peters, because Jason Peters is supposed to play on the right side this year, and who would replace Jason Peters if Andre Dillard couldn't hold the helm at left tackle? Because obviously Peters would have to go replace Dillard. It's just so weird. It's a clusterfuck. Can you guys help me out?
I got a gift for you to explain yourself what's going on with Andre Dillard.
Like a rag doll.
So that was the first thing I looked up, because I have not looked at Eagles training camp at all. I saw Rager's is being a stud. He's blowing past people.
Stud.
Darius Slay looks good. I'm like, okay, whatever. Just wake me up. Everyone's like, the Eagles wideout's healthy. I'm happy for that. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I literally forgot football's going on, because when the preseason starts or Hard Knocks start, that's when I get ramped up for football. I literally forgotten about it.
Have you watched Hard Knocks?
No, I've skipped out. I saw the preview for it. I'm out. I hate both teams. No team gives me any appeal or sex appeal at all.
Mm-hmm.
They're both two LA franchises, and I could care less about either one. They're both wallpaper to me. If they did the Rams 2 years ago, when in 2018, that would have been dope, Or the Chargers in in 2016 or 17 when they first moved to LA. That would have been cool.
I didn't even know it was on, to be honest with you. I mean, people said you're missing out on Hard Knocks. I'm like, I didn't even know it was on. Who are the teams? The Rams, I think.
Rams and Chargers. It's two teams.
Yeah,
it's
two LA teams.
Two teams in LA. No one cares.
I watched the first
the two teams no one cares about.
I need something in my life, so I actually sat there and binge watched the first two episodes.
Now let me ask you guys a question. All right, now football is right around the corner. It's about 3 weeks away. In your honest opinion, does it feel like football is right around the corner? Because I've been going back and forth in my mind about this, and I'd usually get pumped for football about 2 months before the season started. I'd be pumped for training camp, preseason, you name it. But it's 3 weeks away, and it's the last thing on my mind. And I know we started this podcast because we're here for the fans, but I'm going to need the fans to do us a solid this year, and you're going to have to get us pumped up, because it just seems to me that the season is nowhere even close, and it's 3 weeks away. You have that bullshit with Dan Schneider happening. You have the Washington football team canceling scrimmages. Like, it's just so weird to me. What's going on around the? I need some help. I need some help, guys.
I actually feel you, because I felt like we topped, like, when quarantine started and we had like nothing to talk about, we found some stuff for the NFL to talk about. Now it's like I feel like I'm out of like stuff to talk about, because like, oh, Earl Thomas had for example, he had a threesome and he got caught. I don't know if you guys saw if he got caught with that. Then a while, like a couple weeks, earlier this week, he got cut. It was like I'm losing my content of greatness around here anyways. So, and for me, it's like I feel like there's other sports that are going on. Like for me, like I'm enjoying hockey right now. I'm watching like Tampa Bay and Boston right now. Has a 4-game point streak. That seems way appealing right now for me. And like the NFL, it's been like it's hidden for me.
I mean, as you can see, I'm a huge Flyers fan. They won in overtime today. Shouldn't have went to overtime, but our coach is being a piece of shit. So I mean, that's just how it happens. But they got the job done. They're 1-1, and that'll probably go into September, late September. That'd be cool if they won the cup. You know, obviously they're looking like the only sport that's not going to boycott. So maybe that'll keep going. And that leads me into this next question. The Lone Ranger asks, Nigel, your thoughts on people boycotting the NFL? And I'm gonna start this with Zach, because we don't want to make this political here on Fall Like an Eagle podcast, but that's all you see nowadays. So obviously we're gonna put our opinions out there, and that's just how we're gonna run with it. And if people don't like it, then this might not be a joke.
I have to get political. Oh God, buckle up.
You might have to. Hey, listen, Trevor was on a political show, so he dealt with this a long time ago. But unfortunately, this is the way the world works right now. We don't like to bring politics on here. We like to make an escape. But for right now, it's just how the world is. So,
all right, Zach, I'll let you go.
Harris, what do you think?
All right, I'm not going to go into the whole political, human race, anything like that. The last 2 years, the NFL numbers have been going up, and that's no surprise, not only because they were going through some turmoil with this kneeling stuff, they were also going through turmoil with what's a catch, what's not a catch. People are getting outraged. Games were being blown out. Now you see a lot more games that have been within 8 points or less. So it's getting a little more exciting over the last 2 years. So, of course, the numbers are going up there, but nobody wants to talk about that as either. We'll see where it goes, because where it stands, the players look like they're going to kneel, and, that's their right. That's their freedom. If they want to do that, whatever.
Right.
Don't matter to me.
Yeah. How about you, Trevor?
All right, for me, I've literally, like, how kneeling is. It was like the cool thing in 2016.
Yes.
It has officially have jumped the shark. I just don't care anymore. Like, give me something else that you're gonna do for me. Like, you're not like if you're kneeling, I don't care. Like, do your thing. I don't really care at all. Like, be something else, or give you some more appealing. Like, oh, you're taking a knee. Is like, whatever, I don't care. So one thing I like to say is, like, I really don't care what you think. Like, do your shit off the field. If you bring on the field, like, okay, make it reasonable for me. But if you're just gonna do a kneel and continue, all right, whatever. Do what Ron Rivera's doing. His whole political, like, not political, like how he wants to do his kneeling and stuff. He's gonna kneel until like the coin toss and stuff. I think that's kind of funny. Yeah, because he's making it like I consider like have a joke. It's like, oh, you're doing it after the anthem, including the coin toss. So like, that's how I'm feeling right now. The kneeling has jumped the shark. It's like the process almost, which we need to flush.
Right. Now, this is what I think about this, because I'm going to bring it into the NBA. The NBA literally postponed every single game today due to what's his name, Blake, the Blake situation. And
Jacob Blake.
I don't want to mess this up. What state was it?
Wisconsin.
It was in Wisconsin.
It's a suburb state of Chicago.
All right, so it was in Wisconsin.
Mastona, Wisconsin.
Mastona, Wisconsin. Okay. So basically they postponed all the games. The players obviously didn't want to play. They wanted to send a message. And I guess that's fine to an extent. But how long is it going to go on for? Because the fact of the matter is sports used to be an escape. And to me, I feel like the NBA players doing this, who are basically all millionaires, the NBA players doing this, they're basically just taking the last thing that some people have as an escape away from them by doing this. And I don't really like to make it about entertainment all the time, but at the same time, you kind of have to like realize that boycotting a game isn't necessarily going to fix the problem at hand. It's only going to make it worse. And, I just don't think that these celebrities, these athletes get it. People that have millions and millions of dollars, they don't live in the real world like these people do. So, in my opinion, they'll just never get it. Like, they'll try to fix the situation, but they're just hurting it. They're not fixing it. And, I don't think that's what some people just don't understand it. Like, I heard somebody on Twitter, and I'm going to bring this up because it kind of pissed me off. I heard somebody on Twitter saying the NHL should postpone games. And I'm like, well, the NHL is not going to do that. No, I'm serious.
I saw that, and I had a nice follow-up tweet to that.
Yeah, and I was like, the NHL is not going to do that, and don't expect them to do it because that's the NBA's thing. The NHL isn't going to do it just because the NBA did it. Now, I know that MLB did it for some of the games, but that doesn't mean the NHL has to follow them. And then I put this up, and someone was like, are you racist? Serious question. I'm like, no, I'm not racist. I just hate stupid people. And it's just – I literally hate stupid people. Like, if you're stupid, I don't want anything to do with you. You have to think. You have to use your brain. And it just pisses me off, man. It pisses me off that people, like, especially on Twitter, it's all left. There's literally, if you speak your mind, you're labeled a racist, fascist. It's stupid. I hate Twitter with a burning passion, but I have a platform on there, so I have to use it. Exactly.
All right. I'm going to touch up on that. Sorry to cut you off, Trevor. So first of all, oppression has nothing to do with money. It actually has to do with power, which obviously when you have money, you have power. But it's not more of a I'm rich, you're poor kind of thing. It's more of somebody holding power over you. That's why they call it systematic racism. That's why they call it oppression, things of that nature. I'm not going to get into everything on that side. As far for me, I support every life, whether it's black life, white life, whatever. We need to make sure every life matters, including black lives. So for the movement, for me, it's simple. Black lives actually matter, not, black lives matter more than anybody else. Not that organization that not everybody follows, not everybody that supports black lives. Unfortunately, there's people that hijack the message. They're going crazy. There's hate on that side. There's hate on the other side. And right now, I feel like somebody needs to go out and hug somebody else because that's where the world's going to. We need to show some love. We need to show some respect for one another.
No, and I agree with everything you just said. The only problem is it's an agenda-based argument. It's an agenda-based debate because, everything that's shown on the news is conquered to divide people. It's put out there to divide people. It's the same thing over and over and over again. One guy getting shot by the cops, and there's only one side of the story that's being told, and then people follow it because, like Further AM says, don't be a follower, do it because you want to. Well, everyone follows each other because they don't free think. They don't have free thinking minds. And, as long as CNN and Fox News do the same thing over and over and over again, they're going to get the ratings and people are just going to deliver hate.
Because that's why I don't watch the news.
Yeah. And unfortunately, SportsCenter turned into CNN.
Woke Center. That's what we're calling it. Woke Center.
Or Political Center.
All right, Clay Travis over there.
Hey, I love Clay Travis. I love how he's dunking on everybody. We need more people like that. And plus, he has a great stat. How much do you think ratings are down, Zach? I don't know. Did you see it? Did you see
for
the number?
NBA?
Yeah, first round playoffs. Do you see how bad it is?
2 million, right?
They're down 40% from last year.
Okay, but how much were they down before the pandemic started? Like 20%. And then you go into the pandemic and they restart, and there's games on at 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock. I don't know about you, Trevor, but I work till 6, 7 o'clock at night. I can't watch these games, and I'm not the only person that works. So that I would like to see the split between night games and day games. I'm sure there's still a droppage. I just don't think it's as big as a droppage as they're putting out there.
Well, I mean, I personally, in my opinion, think the NBA is garbage. They don't play defense, and it's the same thing every single game. The over-unders are like in the 250s. But the thing about the NBA is I found kind of weird because Adam Silver is like for the movement and stuff like that. I found it kind of weird that the players actually canceled the games, not the NBA. The players wouldn't go out there and play. The NBA didn't actually postpone the games. The players decided not to play. Therefore, the NBA was put put into a corner, and they basically had to follow suit. So I don't know if the NBA is realizing that the ratings are tanking or whatever, but I don't know what's going on there. But if it really dropped 40%, it's not good.
I will say that when they decided to cancel the game, Milwaukee Bucks did, they did go ahead and they called the governor, they called everybody else, and they were trying to make a difference, whether you agree with it or not. At least they weren't just, oh, I'm boycotting the game. That's what I'm doing. They're trying to do something, whether it's the right thing, the wrong thing, or whatever. At least they are supporting what they are doing. You know what I mean? Most people could just walk the walk. They're trying to walk the walk and talk the talk.
And they're doubling down. They had Black Lives Matter on the court, and that's cool. I'm cool. I'm completely cool with that. Like I said, it's the one sport where you can actually get away with that because it's basically an African American sport. So you want to put that on your court, you see it on TV. That's awesome. All right.
And on the back of your jerseys too, like you have little slogans and stuff. So
listen, that annoys me because now I'm trying to figure out who's who. And I'm like looking at their butt, trying to figure out what their name is. And I'm like, I haven't watched basketball in a while. I'm like, who the hell is that? Is that Paul George? I can't figure out. Is that Paul George? I don't know.
Who's vote 13? Who's that? Or who's vote 24? I can't figure that out.
I can't figure it out. So that's the only thing that annoys me about that.
And then Montrezl Harrell has "end racism" on the back of his jersey, and then he says "bitch ass white boy." So
I'm gonna say that's the greatest quote of all time. If there's a T-shirt out, I'm gonna buy that.
Yeah,
so Luka Doncic, that's the greatest T-shirt ever.
How many times I got called "bitch ass white boy" playing basketball? Oh.
Yeah, it is pretty funny actually. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just hope it doesn't carry into the NFL season to where you're gonna wake up one Sunday morning and they just decide to postpone games just because something in the news happens.
Probably Malcolm Jenkins probably him. He's gonna probably lead it. It's like no one's playing today. So,
yeah, nobody's playing today. Not even people from Green Bay. Go home.
Yeah, like you don't get a game check. You don't get a game check. Like Jesus Christ, Malcolm Jenkins. Why don't you run for office then? If you hate him.
He's trying.
And like I said, there's nothing really political about us, but it's just how the world is right now. So we had to address that. But other than that, there's nothing really else. This is just our welcome back episode. We're going to be back every single week. These guys have shit to do tomorrow, so we had to do something. But we're basically addressing how Jalen Reagor's a stud. Andre Dillard is probably a bust. Carson Wentz, hopefully he could stay upright. And Dougie P got rid of COVID. So
he beat COVID and he made it his bitch.
Yeah,
made it his bitch. I hope he got some ice cream with sprinkles on top.
Absolutely. But with that being said, you guys have anything else to say? This was pretty short and sweet. I understand it was only 20 minutes, but we just wanted to do something. You know what I'm saying?
I just have for me it's like the NFL is like I'll realize it when I get when it's like the Chiefs and Texans play Thursday night. Like, oh, the NFL's here. That's how I've been treating it. So
right. Okay. I'll state off. First of all, I want to give a shout out to my Clifton Park native, Ian Anderson, who pitched outstanding today against the Yankees. But 6th inning, gave up 1 run. Great job on his debut. As far as football, I'm going to say, you can't take too much away because at the end of the day, practice, we're talking about practice. And, you could say everything you want. Everybody looks good. Sammy Sleeves looked good in the preseason. Everybody thought we were going 16-0. We all know how that turned out. So as far as Jalen Reagor looks amazing, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside looks amazing. These guys look amazing. Darius Slay is getting hurt. Oh, no. Waste of money again. Is that another Nnamdi Asomugha? Whatever. The case is that it's practice, and we're not going to know until we get into the games and where the hitting gets hit and the real gets real.
Right. And Further AM actually just brought up something. He's like, bring back Zomp. And I have a treat for you. Zomp will be back in about 2 weeks. He'll be on during the post games, and he'll be doing the Zomp on Fire segment. He'll be on sporadically for the pre-games, but he's going to be mostly post-game, and he'll be doing the Zomp on Fire segment. So he'll be back. He'll be ready to roll. And
that's always on fire.
Yeah, that should be fun. It'll be more energetic for sure. And so pretty much that's all she wrote. And I'm sorry it was so much politically involved this episode, but
So please, if you want to call me a racist, do it at my Twitter or come at me in person. I'll laugh in your face.
Well, you're allowed to do it on Twitter because everyone will bash you because it's all left.
I know. So please come up with some better content than call me a racist.
Oh, by the way, there was a list this week for banned Flyers fans, by the way, and that generated a lot of hate. It was kind of mean. I'm not going to lie, but it's my pinned tweet. So if you want to go check it out, go check it out. And, yeah.
Can I make this list? Go Islanders.
I don't know who made
the hockey.
Zach,
I really don't know who made the – well, I know who made the list, but I'm not going to say it because I'm not a scumbag. So I'll just take the bullet. You know?
For sure.
I made the list. I'm sorry, guys.
No, you didn't make the list. You're good.
I don't even pay attention to hockey.
But with that being said, we will be back next week at the same time, Thursday. It'll be about maybe a half hour to 45-minute show. Thank you guys for tuning in. And for always, fly, Eagles, fly, go Birds. We are out.